In this section, we will look at the remainder of the short-term leave types or leave requests that are for 20 days or less. When dealing with the death of a family member, the additional bereavement leave is available to employees to request additional time off, up to a maximum of 2 days. This would require multiple approval levels, with the final level of approval resting with the Deputy Minister. Please note that if the Deputy Minister position is vacant in a department, any requests requiring DM approval will now rest with the Assistant Deputy Minister. For some bargaining unit employees, compassionate leave is available to request leave in special circumstances, other than bereavement, for up to a maximum of 3 days. Prior to approving or denying these requests, you should refer to the employee's collective agreement and speak with your HR consultant to determine their eligibility. And as with additional bereavement leave, compassionate leave requests require multiple levels of approval, with the final approval level resting with the Deputy Minister. Court or jury duty leave is used by all staff for time off for jury duty or work-related court appearances. The next 3 leave types are used to request time off in lieu of overtime hours worked. In some cases, staff are required to work additional hours outside their normal work schedule. In these cases, the employee would have received approval prior to working the additional time. When requesting time off for these overtime hours that were previously worked, the employee would select time off in lieu. The in lieu of statutory holiday leave type is for staff to use when asking for bank time off for hours previously worked on a statutory holiday. Leave time off is for conservation officers in the General Service Collective Agreement delivering the full range of regional services, to use when requesting time off. You should refer to the employee's collective agreement and/or the HR policies to determine any restrictions for accruing and using these leave types. As with any leave type, your HR consultant is available to provide clarification and advice. Employees looking for unpaid time off to attend an educational program that is 20 days or less would select the Education Unpaid leave type when completing the request. However, if the request is for paid education leave, the Education Paid leave type should be selected. Any unpaid short-term education leave requests only require the employee's supervisor's or manager's approval, while all education paid short-term requests will require additional approval levels, with the final approval resting with the Deputy Minister. Labrador leave is available to staff living in Labrador to use when they are delayed returning from approved leave to their community due to an interruption in transportation services within Labrador or at the last departure point directly into Labrador. For full details of this leave type, you should refer to the employee's collective agreement and/or the HR policies, as well as contact your HR consultant. Bargaining unit staff who are union representatives can request time off to conduct business on behalf of the union, either paid or unpaid time off. Any leave requests for union business beyond 20 days would fall under the extended unpaid leave type, which we will review in a few moments. To be eligible for either union business leave type, employees must meet specific criteria which is outlined in their collective agreement. With respect to documentation, written notice from the union would be required, with one exception: when a shop steward represents a union employee during a meeting with their manager. In this situation, the shop steward would require approval from their manager to be away from their work. However, a leave request is not required. All requests for time off to conduct union business requires approval from a management level approver. So, if you are a frontline supervisor in a bargaining unit position, once you approve a union business request, it is then sent to your manager for their review and approval. If you deny the request, it will not go to the next level approver. The system will email the employee letting them know that their leave request was denied. With approval from the Human Resource Secretariat, employees can choose to donate some or all of their accumulated paid annual banked overtime and/or banked statutory holiday leave to another employee who is in an emergency situation or is facing a significant challenge. In these cases, the person who has received the leave will see the donated leave amount and can use these hours after they have exhausted their relevant accrued leave to request time off to deal with their current situation. For example, there have been times that employees donated leave to another employee dealing with a very serious medical condition. Please refer to the donation of leave guidelines in the HR policies for additional details and/or speak with your HR consultant. All staff can request time off due to special circumstances, either paid or unpaid time up to 20 days. For example, an employee may not have any sick leave hours. However, they need time off due to an illness. In this case, the employee would request special unpaid leave. For special paid short-term leave, the employee may be requesting paid leave to participate in an amateur athletic event. For both special paid and unpaid leave requests, approval is required from a director-level approver. In their collective agreement, a leave entitlement known as veterinary time off is available for veterinarians. These leave hours can be requested throughout the fiscal year. However, any hours not used will not be carried forward into the new year. Remember, when approving leave, you should consult the employee's collective agreement and/or the HR policies to determine their eligibility and requirements for the leave type requested. Once again, you can contact your HR consultant for clarification of collective agreements and HR policies. Before we review the long-term leave types, let's test our knowledge. Question number 1. A non-bargaining, non-management employee on your team does not have any paid or sick leave time available. However, they are off due to illness for 2 days. What leave type would be appropriate to approve for this request? Would it be appropriate to approve A. Leave time off, B. Special paid leave, or C. Special unpaid leave? The answer is C. Special unpaid short-term. Special unpaid short-term leave is available for employees to use when they do not have any paid or sick leave available. However, they are off due to illness for 20 days or less. Question number 2. An employee on your team will be out of the office for the day to provide testimony for a work-related court case. What leave type would be appropriate to approve for this request? Would it be appropriate to approve special paid leave, court, jury duty, or special unpaid leave? The answer is B, court/jury duty. Court/jury duty leave is used by all staff for time off for jury duty or work-related court appearances. Question number 3, true or false? Labrador leave is available to employees living in Labrador. The answer is A, true. Labrador leave is available to staff living in Labrador to request time off when delayed returning to their community due to an interruption in transportation service occurring within Labrador or at the last departure point directly to Labrador. Question number 4, true or false? Donated leave is for staff in receipt of these leave hours to use when facing a significant challenge or emergency. The answer is A, true. However, the employee must meet the following 3 criteria. 1. They must have received approval from HRS and be in receipt of donated leave. 2. They must have exhausted all relevant accrued leave. And 3. They must be using the leave to deal with the significant challenge or emergency. Question number 5, true or false? An employee is meeting with their manager on Monday, so they ask their shop steward to accompany them to the meeting. The shop steward should request time off for the meeting using the union business paid leave type. The answer is B, false. The shop steward would not have to request leave for the meeting. However, they would require approval from their manager to be away from their job. Question number 6. True or false? Additional bereavement leave only requires approval from the employee's supervisor or manager. The answer is B. False. Unlike bereavement leave, requests for additional bereavement leave requires multiple levels of approval, with the final level of approval resting with the deputy minister. Question number 7. True or false? If a leave request requires 3 levels of approval and the second person denies the request, it does not go to the third approval for review. The answer is A. True. If a leave request is denied, the request does not go to the next level in the approval chain, and the employee receives an email letting them know that their leave request has been denied. Now that we are familiar with the short-term leave types, let's look at the long-term leave types, when to use them, the documentation required, and the required approval levels.